Backstory. My wife and I have been married for 8 years and together for 12. My wife met a believer in the poly lifestyle around 6 months back and started singing the praises about the lifestyle to me. She's a trend follower, so I thought this would go away in time. But 5 days ago, she came to me and announced that she's poly now. I said, okay, what does this mean? She said, well, she will take another lover now, and that lover will be her believer friend's husband. I said, sure, but we should divorce before she goes down this path. But she's not ready to divorce me, and yet she wants to take him as a lover. I don't want that in any shape or form. We have a little daughter and own a condo together. Any advice? I can imagine thinking long and hard about deciding you want a poly life, but I can't imagine approaching an SO and just stating it like there can be no consequences. SO doesn't get to be like, I'm not for that, I guess. LOL. OP, there isn't any other route but divorce if she's so sure, and left your feelings and decisions out entirely from her plan. Maybe if she wanted to do some counseling before deciding? Probably not this situation. Sorry. I wouldn't want my kid around that. Not that every poly person is bad, but this guy just talked her into something really different in 6 months. Mom could decide to join a cult next. OP, use the lawyers and throw the book at her. Poly isn't as mainstream, so the courts would likely take a harsh view. Get full custody, cut her out of visitation, and see how much money you can squeeze out of her for child support. You'll likely get to keep the condo. She can be poly or whatever, but she's going to do it without her family, with the world knowing, and with a lot less money in her pocket. She's not poly, she's bored, and her friend has probably been working here for months as a gift to her husband. So find an absolute shark of a lawyer and take their advice for everything else. Jesus, you don't need her permission to divorce her. She sounds like she'll follow her plan whether you like it or not. She's now poly, LOL, whatever, and will take another man as a lover? Divorce her. End of story. It sounds like she was brainwashed. Gotta wonder if she's already cheating on you and justifying it by saying she's poly now. Maybe try to discuss it with her. Maybe therapy. Maybe talk to this other couple or get her head checked for a tumor. Stay calm. But I'd suggest you start to protect yourself and prepare for a divorce. Document everything. Secure your financials and property. Maybe talk to a lawyer about the situation. Whatever happens, good luck. Update. Wife of 8 years came out as poly, and I want to come out as divorced, but she's upset. So I've been doing a whole lot of talking with my wife during the past 2 days, and I have to admit, I am a little worried about her. Some of the posters on my last post talked about her going through some sort of mental break or even tumor, and that spooked me because she's been very erratic in her behavior. 1 week ago, she couldn't wait to be poly, but now she has cut those friends out of her life and is now completely happy with our monogamous life. These extreme mood swings are not normal. Anyways, I again talked to my wife, and she told me that she has completely blocked her friends from her life and is now committed to our daughter and me for the rest of our lives. We argued back and forth, but she didn't budge from her view that we don't need to divorce, and she'll do anything I ask to make sure that we stay together. So I took this opportunity to ask her to undergo a complete mental health checkup at the hands of a professional. She agreed to see a professional, so I've booked an appointment for this Friday, and I have canned the talk of divorce for now. She has been behaving normally, and I'm enjoying it right now, even though it may be short-lived. She's back to her usual loving and caring self, and we even took our daughter for ice cream today. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed till it's confirmed one way or another. I don't want to act hastily. I want to gather all the facts before making a life-changing decision. Also, she just went to sleep a little while ago. We're back in the same room, and before dozing off, she apologized again and said she would spend the rest of her days trying to fix what she broke by her stupidity. OP, I think these are not mood swings, but have something to do with the fairy tales her friends told her about polygamy, how it's all great, and how you should give her that gift. And when you gave her a reality check by telling her that her being poly was fine by you after you divorced her, she woke up and realized the BS they were spouting. Yeah, I see nothing in the story that indicates some new mental illness. It just sounds like someone getting carried away with friends and excitement and then crashing back to reality once the closed group type gets tested on her husband. The only question is whether she's actually over it, which might be the case if she hadn't put lots of thought into it and it was a casual spur of the moment request, or if she's just laying low to avoid drama. No, there's another question. Has she already done it? Maybe that's why she's changing her tune. She tried it, and it wasn't the unicorn rainbow she was told it would be. This is infinitely more likely than the she has a brain tumor hypothesis. Good luck, OP. Quite often, talk of open or poly relationships in a monogamous relationship usually occurs after the cheating, emotional or physical, has already occurred. My husband and I are upper middle class. We both have two stable careers with salaries around $140K to $160K each. And my husband received an inheritance, which allowed us to buy a house outright. We have two children, and my eldest goes to a private school, and we're planning on sending our younger one to the same school. My parents were not very enthusiastic about the idea, but I told them we would not budge. My younger sister is pregnant with her first child, and my parents are now pressuring me again to send them to a public school. They argue that it will be better for them and make them more grounded individuals, but I pushed back again and shut this discussion down, and the real reason came out. My sister is heartbroken that her children will not receive the same opportunities mine will. My parents tell me that I'm being a snob for rejecting public schools so vehemently when I went to one myself. This conversation didn't end well, and I told them that my husband and I would not change our plans to make my sister feel better. I felt that this private school is much better than public school, and my children would be better off here. My parents told me they would cut me out of the will, and my sister has stopped returning my calls. I feel bad because we can only afford to send our children to private school because of the inheritance. It has put us in a great position, and not only do we not have to pay a mortgage, but we also got a head start on savings because of the inheritance. I feel like I am walking away from my family over school, and I can't help but feel guilty that I'm giving up on my family. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and I think we've all found the golden child. Just because your parents want to continue babying your sister doesn't mean you have to. She's the parent. It has absolutely positively nothing to do with you, how she raises her children, and the same goes for yours. Let's be honest here. Your parents don't have a problem with a private school. They have a problem with cuddling your sister and expecting you to do the same. None of it has anything to do with any of your children. Your family's trying to bully you into accepting less for your children, and you wonder if you are the idiot? Cut contact with them now. Mark my words, they're all going to badger you to foot the bill for her kids when they come of age. Expect more guilt tripping when they become school age. See your kids in clothes they like, gaming consoles you get for Christmas, college fund, etc. Do not give in. Not the idiot. Your family is abandoning you over your school choice. Don't let them make you feel guilty. Your parents can't see that it's not about you being a snob, but you and your husband wanting the best for your children that you can afford. If your sister can't do that, tough luck. If your parents are so upset about it, they should pay for the private school of your sister's kid. Keep doing what you're doing, taking care of your kid's education, and providing the best start you can afford. It'll most likely pay off in the end. Hate to burst your bubble, but you're not upper middle class. You're upper class with mid-six-figure salaries. That being said, you are a good parent. You're making sure that your children have the best chance to succeed in life with the best possible education. So your family's trying to force you into holding back your children because your sister is jealous that you and your husband can provide for your children better than she can for hers. My fiance is mad that I always buy gifts for my mom. Context: my mom and my dad do not have a loving marriage. They've been more like roommates the past few years. She feels like she's not desirable or loved, and I try to make some small acts of love to show her that she matters. When I connected with my fiance 4 years ago, my mom would get sad whenever she saw me buying gifts for my fiance, then girlfriend. So whenever I purchased a gift for my fiance, I always made sure to buy one for my mom to make her feel loved. My fiance didn't speak on it at first, but the past year, she's always made remarks about how this feels weird because she feels like she has to share me with my mother. Her concerns are that whenever I buy my fiance a Valentine's Day gift, I also get one for my mom. Whenever I get my fiance's anniversary gifts, I always get one for my mom too. Something small just to make her feel thought of and loved. Whenever I get my fiance's birthday gifts, I make sure to pick out something for my mom. I know it sounds weird, and I recognize how it sounds as well. However, I didn't think much of it until my fiance started voicing her concerns more and more. My fiance's and my anniversary is coming up in a few days. Since it's close to Christmas, I always put the anniversary gift under the tree. However, we haven't done gift shopping this year yet, so it's the only anniversary gift under the tree for now. As usual, I went and bought something small for my mom. My fiance got so mad when she found out, and she told me she'd had enough of that, and that she couldn't have anything unique or exclusive to herself without having to share me with my mother. She told me that she understands how my mom feels lonely, but it's not my responsibility to act as her replacement husband. At first, I thought she was overreacting and acting jealous over my own mom, but talking with some friends, I've now come to see her point. So, am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Why does every significant moment in your girlfriend's life have to include a gift to your mother? Is your mother not a capable adult that can handle the fact that every occasion is not about her? Time to let mom know that every occasion in your life or your girlfriend's life does not entitle her to a gift from you. You are the idiot. It was really sweet until you said you bought your mom's gifts for your fiance's special days, birthday, anniversary. I'm a woman and buy mom a little something on Valentine's Day, so that didn't weird me out, as long as it's not like diamonds or anything like that. I don't even think small gifts throughout the year are that weird, but it's inappropriate and unfair to give your mom gifts on your fiance's special days. I was going to vote not the idiot until you made this gem of a comment, because my mom only gets upset if I don't give her gifts at the same time I get my fiance. She feels like I'm replacing her with another woman. You are the idiot. Your fiance/wife comes first. Your mom's selfish feelings do not. Time to sack up and cut the cord. Mom needs a major reality check now. Marriage is between two people, and yours currently involves three. Fix it. I, 46 male, and my wife, 45, have 2 kids together. Our daughter is a tween, and my son is 1 year older. My wife lost her job due to everything this past year and has become very frugal with spending. I do have a very successful job that helps pay the bills and food. We planned on taking a trip to visit family for Christmas, but my wife voted against the idea as it would be too expensive. This Christmas, we had a budget for our kids, being $75 each to spend on them, and then $50 to spend on each other. I went out and bought the kids most of the items they wanted on their list. When I showed my wife, she was not thrilled and told me she would take care of the shopping. So I bought my wife a few gifts while staying within the budget. When our kids went to open our gifts, I was looking forward to seeing them with huge smiles on their faces. Instead, my daughter opened her gifts and looked at us, saying none of this stuff was on the list. My son opened his gifts and stormed up to his room. Both kids had gotten old broken toys, shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrushes, things that no kid wants. When the kids were out of the room, I turned to my wife and said, "You returned all the gifts that I bought that were on the list and stayed within the budget. You couldn't stop being a cheapskate for 1 day?" She bought gifts from a garage sale. She looked at me and told me that she would spend the day alone with her family. She left and hasn't spoken to me since. I cooked the kids a wonderful dinner and heard from my wife that she would be staying with her family for a few days. Am I the idiot for calling my wife a cheapskate for giving our kids used Christmas gifts? Not the idiot. Go buy your kids real gifts. Give your wife the toothpaste. I see absolutely no problem with buying things from thrift stores or shopping cheap. What made me mad reading this was that she returned the gifts you had already purchased to buy your kids things they didn't want. What a terrible and selfish thing to do. Not the idiot. That was foul. It sounds like she's having some serious personal issues, and it's probably good she left for a few days. Try to be understanding as much as you can. She is the idiot, but I don't think she wanted to be. There has to be something else going on because this makes no sense. OP, find where the money from the returns went. It sounds more like a cry for help, as this extreme behavior is probably a symptom of some mental break. He should let her take a couple of days away. He needs to sit her down and have a grown-up conversation when she gets back. Then he might get what the issue is and seek counseling no matter what. OP seems unreliable. His successful job helps pays the food and bills. If the wife is vetoing original ideas that cost money, it sounds like OP is the fun parent who doesn't respect the household budgeting. Then she leaves, and he makes the kids a wonderful dinner. Something doesn't smell right with this story. Of course, if all the info alone in the gifts is right, then something bigger and more concerning is going on here for the wife. Sad situation for the kids all around. I, 20 male, started dating my girlfriend, 20, about 6 months back, but I've known her for a year now. When I met her, my girlfriend identified as a lesbian. Obviously, I have no problems with that, but that didn't stop me from having feelings for her, unfortunately. We were becoming good friends, and I wanted to be honest with her, so I confessed my feelings. She told me that her identity had always been a struggle for her, and she had, despite her label, feelings for me as well. So we began dating shortly after. A couple of days ago, we were out with mostly her friends for dinner. Honestly speaking, the joke's context is forgotten to me, but one of her friends said something along the lines of, "My girlfriend is gay." I was waiting for her to correct him, but the correction never came, and she only laughed along with the joke. I was very upset, because if she's dating me, she's not gay. So why was that even insinuated? I confronted her about it, and she told me that it's normal for those kind of jokes to be said about her. So I became even more upset, because these jokes have been going on for really long. I asked her why she hadn't stopped it, because they were based on pure inaccuracy, and she told me that it didn't bother her when people called her gay. I was exasperated and got even angrier. She then began to cry, and while I tried to comfort her, she told me that she was going to leave and we should talk about this later. I got an angry text from a mutual friend pointing out my faults. I thought his view was extremely biased, so I asked for the opinion of my own friend group, and they all had mixed reactions. Some took her side and some mine. I don't know who's right. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. This is her identity, not yours. They're jokes and they're harmless. They aren't meant to hurt you. I'm sorry they do. It seems you're taking these jokes too seriously. They don't bother her, and she's secure in your relationship. It feels to me like you're not secure in this relationship. I can't see any other reason why you'd be upset that she still identifies as gay. Dude, I am married to a man. Have been with him for almost 25 years. We have kids together. We are monogamous and plan to be together until we both die. I am still bi. It doesn't matter who I ended up with, man or woman. I will always be bi, which falls within the spectrum of queer, gay, whatever. The awesome thing for me is that my husband gives not one crap about my orientation because he knows I love him for him. So labels are not the issue. Your insecurity is, however.